Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr President. My question, without notice, is to the Leader of the Government, Minister for Resources, Minister for Energy and Utilities and Minister for the Arts. Minister, given the Federal Government has now abandoned the clean energy target, which the Australian Chief Scientist Alan Finkel said was necessary to provide the long-term certainty for investors to put money into new electricity generation projects, how can you assure the House there will be enough new energy coming online to more than replace ageing coal-fired power stations as they close and provide New South Wales with clean and affordable energy?
Good question. Dorothy. Excellent question.
We're in your hands, Don.
Dorothy Dixer.
State's economy and future is in your hands.
Mason-Cox describes it as a Dorothy Dixer. Virtually is a Dorothy Dixer. Because
We'll still stop
a large part of the question, Mr President, was outlining the views of the Federal Chief Scientist, Professor Alan Finkel.
Which you used to support, I think.
And what has Professor Finkel said in his comments
Exactly.
since the release of the proposal by the Federal Minister based on advice from the Energy Security Board? Very simple. He said it's a credible mechanism. A credible mechanism. So Professor Finkel
Carefully chosen.
is hardly someone I would have thought that the Labor Party would be trying to use today to somehow cast doubt over what the federal government's proposals were yesterday. And he's not alone. He's not alone. There are plenty of other plenty of other very credible commentators who have also had interesting things to say as well. Now, for example, one would hardly describe the Grattan Institute as to take the words of the Honourable Greg Pearce, a bunch of lefties.
I don't think Tony Wood like that description.
I think the Honourable Greg.
I don't think that's his worldview.
Say that they're a bunch of that the Grattan Institute are a bunch of lefties. They certainly aren't rivaling some people like the IPA on the conservative side of the spectrum. That's for sure. Well, Tony Wood, who is a very senior figure in the energy community and who is now a policy director at the Grattan Institute, has come out and extensively written today on the opinion pages of the Australian Financial Review and spoken with favour about what the federal government come out with. So, look, to be perfectly frank, Mr President, I've already had the opportunity to speak yesterday on questions. I've had 10 minutes this morning on the matter of public importance, outlining the position of the government, and the position of the government is very clear. We are interested in what the federal government has put up yesterday.
Point of order, Mr. President.
The Deputy Leader of Government on a point of order.
Mr President, the opposition have asked the Minister the first question of the day. They need to give him the courtesy to be able to continue to towel them up with his answer and repeat what he said many times yesterday in question time without being interrupted, Mr President.
The sting of Don's towel.
Would the Minister... thank you. Thank you. Can I remind honourable members that by tradition, the Chair tolerates interjections that are not disruptive, particularly if they facilitate exchange of views and arguments in debate. However, the Chair will not tolerate disruptive interjections, a ruling of then President Primrose on 28 June 2007. Can I remind honourable members that for a member to scream out to the Minister to sit down is, as far as I'm concerned, not only parliamentary but disorderly. So firstly, I call the Honourable Greg Donnelly to order for the first time, and I remind honourable members of the ruling of President Primrose. The Minister has the call.
So, as I was saying, Mr President, I spoke on this very matter this morning. I made some remarks about the fact that we were open to considering what the federal government's advanced yesterday, and Why should we? Well, of course we should, because 5 very eminent people in the space on the Energy Security Board have given the federal government advice, and what they've put up is worthy of consideration. We need to see some more material, and we've asked for them to do some more work, some more modelling in particular, to justify some of the claims that are being made. But we expect to receive that material, and we look forward to discussing it at the COAG Energy Council later in November.